Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the Sauce. So we went 4-2 in bets and still somehow finished below zero. I mean, pretty much a break-even night. Lost the vig. Go 4-2 and lose money is pretty frustrating, but wasn't a terrible night. We saw a couple good games. Knicks got the win. Let's put it in the past and move on to tonight. Two more games. Couple good ones too. Boston Philly should be a great game. So let's get into it.
Welcome to the Sauce. The Sauce. Sauce. Hey, get the sauce.
First up, Boston at Philly for Game 6. Sixers now lead the series 3-2. Celtics facing elimination. Line opens up Philadelphia plus 1.5. Total opens up at 214.5. Public comes in heavy on Boston early, and this line immediately moves from 1.5 up to 2. Since then, it's kind of evened out. In fact, if you look closely, looks like the action is slowly creeping back towards Philly. We'll have to wait and see if this number drops back down to 1.5. So let's break down the matchup. Game 5 went pretty much exactly how I expected it to, with one exception. That was the day we swept Game 5 of this series. That was when we went 7-0. So it went, like I said, it went pretty much how I expected to go, with the exception of Tyrese Maxey going off. I said Boston was long overdue for a cold night shooting from outside. We saw it. They were down closer to 30%. Usually they're up at 40%. I said Boston was going to have trouble keeping an aggressive Joel Embiid off the free throw line. I mean, he went 10 of 11 from the line. I was expecting him to take a few more shots than that, but still, he was really good, and Boston was really struggling with that. I don't expect the Embiid angle to change for Game 6. He's playing with a ton of confidence. That knee looks better, and I don't think Boston can really stop this guy without sending the double team over. The Celtics defense on the interior certainly doesn't appear to be what it was last year. So I expect Embiid to be a problem again in Game 6, but here's the thing. The other two angles that I liked in Game 5, I expect them to swing back towards Boston here. I expect Boston's outside shooting to come back. Instead of 31.6%, which was what they shot in Game 5, I expect them to be closer to 40, which is where they pretty much live, right under 40%. I expect Tyrese Maxey to come back down to earth. I said before the series that I thought Maxey's skill set was a tough cover for Boston defensively, and I still believe that, but not 30 points a night. And some of the threes that he was getting to fall, you can't expect them to fall regularly. And it's not just Maxey. Joel Embiid went 3 of 7 from deep himself. Embiid has only hit 3 or more triples in a game 4 times this entire season. Philadelphia got a little bit lucky in that department. Boston left Embiid open a few times on the perimeter because they're okay with him shooting that shot. Yeah, they happen to fall in Game 5, but there's a reason they're okay with him shooting that, because Boston knows it's not a high percentage shot. So the Celtics facing elimination with positive regression on their side, I got to roll with them. I also like the under, but I'm a little scared of Tatum going off and the Celtics going off from outside as a whole. So I think the safer play is to take Philadelphia's team total under 105.5 instead of the under at 214.5. I do like the under at 214.5, but I feel the safer play is to stick to the Philadelphia team total under. Prop wise, I'm looking at Jason Tatum's over. Like I said previously, I expect him to go off here. In the last 4 games of this series, he's combined to just shoot 7 of 31 from outside. Now, that's not completely surprising. Jason Tatum's always been a bit of a streaky player, hot and cold, but it's time. He's overdue, and facing elimination, I think Tatum's going to go off. I'm going to take his over on points and rebounds at 39.5. The reason I'm attaching rebounds to it, I'm expecting a lot of missed outside shots from Philly. I think Boston's going to send double teams to Embiid, and I think Maxey's going to be not quite as hot. I mean, he's not going to hit 6 threes again. So I'm expecting some missed outside shots from Philadelphia, which opens up opportunities for long rebounds. So wing defenders like Tatum, like Jaylen Brown. Another prop I'm considering, but I'm not sure if I'll actually bet it. Joel Embiid under 10.5 rebounds. It's tough to gauge what Boston's rotation is going to be here. In the last 3 games, Robert Williams III has saw less than 20 minutes. I mean, he's not playing a ton of minutes, but now that Embiid's back and healthy, does Joe Mazzulla switch the rotation up and put Robert Williams III out there for more minutes, maybe to help defending Joel Embiid? It's really tough to predict. If Robert Williams is going to play 15 minutes again, that means Joel Embiid's going to spend a lot of time defending Horford on the perimeter, which takes away from his rebound opportunities. But like I said, I don't think I'll actually bet this, but I would lean Embiid under 10.5 rebounds. So Boston -2. I like the under, but I'm taking Philadelphia team total under 105.5, and Jason Tatum over 39.5 points and rebounds. Possibly Joel Embiid under 10.5 rebounds. Possibly. Let's chalk it up as a lean for now. Next game, Denver at Phoenix, game 6. Nuggets lead this series 3-2, as I'm sure you already know. Line opens up Phoenix -3.5. Total opens up at 225.5. As far as where the action is, line opened up at Phoenix -3.5, and it's still 3.5 on most books. I did see it at 4 on a couple, but the consensus line is definitely still 3.5. We got a bit of a pros versus public setup here. Public is definitely on the Phoenix Suns. Sharp action definitely in on the Denver Nuggets. This is a very short breakdown here. I'm saying the same thing here that I've said for 2-3 straight games in this series. If you're betting the Suns to win and cover here, you're basically betting for Kevin Durant and Devin Booker to combine for 80 plus points and shoot 65% from the floor. Now, I'm not saying that can't happen. Shit, we've seen it happen twice already in games 3 and 4, both games at Phoenix. But from my observation, based on everything we've seen from the first 5 games in this series, Phoenix cannot compete with Denver unless Devin Booker and Durant are out of this world. And I'm talking record-breaking good. They can't just have solid games. They can't just shoot 50% from the floor, 30 points apiece, good games. If that happens, Denver wins by 10 plus. They need Durant and Booker to break records here. And the crazy part is, even if they do, it's still a toss-up. We saw Devin Booker go 20 of 25 from the floor, 47 points, and the Suns still barely hung on. They were up like 3 or 4 points with a minute left. It wasn't even a decisive victory. I lost with my bets in Denver. I took Denver in game 3 and 4, lost both of them. I don't regret taking the Nuggets in either game. Devin Booker just went crazy. I feel Denver has definitively established themselves as the better team in this series, and there's no way I'm going to lay 3.5, 4 points to what I feel is the better team in the series. So give me Denver plus 3.5. I'm hoping to get Denver plus 4 somewhere. As far as the total, I'm also going to take a small shot on the over at 226. Both games in Phoenix, games 3 and 4, both flew over the total. So give me Denver plus 3.5 or 4 if you can get it. Over 226. As far as props, I don't have anything as of right now. I'll definitely have something tomorrow, though, to put on the ticket and for the same game parlay. If anything changes with any of these bets, I will let you know on Twitter, so give me a follow there if you're interested. Also, if you want the final tickets that I put out, which has every bet I'm making on these games and how much I'm betting on each, as well as a same game parlay that I build for every single playoff game, head over to KyleKirms.com. Another day of 2 NBA playoff games. Remember to bet responsibly. Let's go green, and I'll talk to you on Twitter.